of produced it. All right. I'm going to let you watch over my shoulder. I was up in my attic earlier today looking for unfinished paintings, and sure enough, I found this one. Pardon me while I clean up my messes.
You dropped a pencil.
I did drop a pencil. Dropped it right in a wet paint too. Okay. Okay. Now, Lake, do you know that I'm broadcasting? I'm making a movie with my camera right now.
Right
Okay.
now?
Yep.
No.
Okay, so sorry, I should have had this done ahead of time. And Lake, you're welcome to ask me questions, but you're not welcome just to make lots of noises. Okay. Okay, so let me show you, and this is very risky. Well, it's not very risky because what I want to say is this may not turn out at all. This painting is about a year, not a year old, I guess. It's a painting I did of a house on Ocracoke, very famous tourist destination, old fishing village, rustic town in North Carolina. Hang on, I've done several paintings there, and this is, as you see from the title, this is one of the problem children. It's never been in a gallery because it just wasn't quite gallery worthy. Let me show you what I do anyway to see if a painting can be rescued. I'm going to invest a little bit of time in this, and if it doesn't work, then I will sand it down and gesso over it and reuse the canvas. By the way, I love using reused canvases, so it's not a great burden, and I've discovered a pretty good technique for getting, re-gessoing them, which is a trick if it's an oil painting, because gesso, of course, is acrylic, and you can't put acrylic on top of oil. So I'll let you watch that process some other time, but it involves sanding first of all, and a couple other chemical tricks. So as you can see, all I'm doing right now is covering the whole canvas with an oxide red or burnt sienna, I don't know which, glaze. And then I'm going to clean my brushes slightly by rubbing them on this rag and go directly to some ultramarine glaze. And do this. I could do phthalo as well if I want, up in the sky. It's a very cool blue we're looking at there. All right. Let me show you what's going on here. I'm getting a regular audience. So Lake is pulling up. There's Izzy, and there's Lake. She's pulling up her chair. She wants to be a part of this auspicious event. Welcome, Lake. Good. Thanks for doing that all by yourself, without my help. Okay. So basically, of course, what I've just done is darkened the whole painting considerably. Let me give you a little formula. Formulas, of course, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. There's no such thing as a infallible formula, but they can be used as guidelines. Okay, here's mine. If you've got a problem child painting, like I have right here, just wasn't quite working, okay? And if you can eliminate a couple problems, like that it's a bad composition, or that the drawing is off, which I think this could be a good composition, and the drawing is okay. So that's not a drawing problem. So let me back up. If you got a problem child painting, but the drawing's okay, it's not a drawing mistake, and the composition you think can work, but for some reason it's still not working, then here's what I want to tell you. 80% of the time it's a values problem, okay? And when it is a values problem, 80% of those times It's a dark values problem. That is to say, it doesn't have enough darks. Of course, that's a general rule. Of course, there would be hundreds of exceptions to that rule, but there would be more, it would be proven more right more than wrong more times than not. Okay, so I'm following that rule right here. I think the composition is probably okay, and the drawing is okay, but it's not, the picture isn't, the painting isn't popping. So 80% of the time it's a values issue, and 80% of those times it's a dark, that is to say it's not dark enough. So I just darkened the entire painting, the entire canvas. Now I'm coming in with a rag and lifting out, re-whiting or re-lightening some of the light parts. Not all of the light parts, of course. It'd be a colossal waste. I could take my rag and just wipe off the whole canvas. That would be a waste of time. So let's see what happens. See if this thing comes alive a little bit. If I follow this guideline, and if it doesn't, I'm not gonna sweat and strain too much. It's not worth that. One of the other guidelines I often give people when we all have them, we all have these paintings that just aren't quite working, and if you know what's wrong, then you fix it. But sometimes it's the ones where you don't know what's wrong. That's the real problem. And what I strongly recommend is if you have a problem child painting and you don't know what's wrong, most people, because I hear it in our painters forum all the time, most artists, they'll say, well, I tried a little of this, and I tried a little of that, and I tried this and tried that. And it's like, no, quit the trying. Get a chainsaw and an axe to the thing. Get violent with it. Do something big. If the painting's not working, it's because there's something significantly wrong. And a little of this and a little of that just isn't going to cut it. So I consider what I just did, pretty violent. I mean, I just darkened the entire painting 2 degrees. That's pretty significant. Okay, a little bit more. And by the way, I do think the painting is definitely better than it was 10 minutes ago. I don't know if you can see that or not. Now, whether it's good enough to rescue it from the scrap heap, that's another question. We're not going to make that judgment just yet. But it is definitely better than it was. And it only took me a few minutes to make that improvement. Painting with my finger, never paint with your fingers. I say that every time I paint with my fingers.
Why would anyone want to paint with their fingers?
Well, just sometimes it's easier to blend things like that right there. It's just so convenient. Then you just wipe out. But when you do paint with your fingers, you have to, in my opinion, you want to make sure that you're not using a cadmium or cobalt paint, because those kind of paints might be toxic. They absorb through your skin. So there's no cadmiums or cobalts on this canvas. Okay. So the painting is somewhat better than it was. What do you think, Izzy? Does it look better to you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what I've done is intensified the focal point and the light effects. Now, what I'm going to do next.
I can see the light effects.
And then, here's what else I'm going to do. I'm a little surprised when I got this painting out to discover that it didn't have any pencil in it, because I'm pretty sure I did this painting after I began my pencil experimentation. You've heard me talk about it quite a bit. I discovered these pencils when I was doing a whole bunch of abstract paintings last summer. And I enjoyed the effect so much in my abstract paintings that I brought them over. Whoops! Can you pick that up for me, Izzy?
Why were you doing that?
I dropped it accidentally. Oh, why was I doing those lines? That is
Yeah.
a very good question. Yeah. The word is energy. The word is one of the lines I made was right there. One of them is right here. There's another one here and here and here. It's really hard to describe, Izzy, why that makes the painting better. Almost always. First of all, the marks have to be made pretty much in the manner that I just made them. That is, you have to make them with enthusiasm and
Not
vigor
like-
and strength.
Not like slowly.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do it slowly. That's exactly right.
Then like one line there, square there, or something like that.
My grandson catches on really quickly. I hope the rest of you do. Yeah. Right. For some reason, those lines, even though they don't have anything to do with the picture, we like. Those are pretty intentional, but there's a very faint line there that I just made there and there. And it surprises me how often we like. Hey, Tolly, grandchild number 3 is now among us. She's welcome to hang out here, Alicia. Everybody knows we have grandchildren.
That was the lake.
Oh, that was Lake. Sorry. I just glanced up and didn't even Lake. Hey, Lake, do you want to come back?
No.
That's pretty bad when you call your own grandchildren by the wrong name. That is really bad. Anyway, so one thing I did think I would do with this painting is like, well, yeah, let's add some of this line stuff and see if it improves a little bit.
I think there's more light on the video than in the.
Yeah, there's more. The camera, the picture looks brighter. Does it on the video? It does. Yeah. I hope it's not that. I hope that what people are seeing isn't that bright. Izzy's making a good point. When I look at the backside of my phone, the image that I'm seeing there is much brighter than, more intense, more saturated than the reality. And I don't know what you guys are seeing. I hope you're seeing something closer to reality than I am. Anyway, what do you think of the pencil lines here, Izzy? Does it make it look better?
Can't really see them. I can see the one that goes up to the roof and.
Well, look, see all these lines here? That's all pencil lines, and that right there.
Yeah, that makes it a lot better.
Yeah, I think it does. Very strange.
You're doing
Let me
the
tell you
outline.
Let me tell my friends online again another story that really encouraged me. And you've heard me say maybe many times, I don't know if the pencil thing is a passing fad, if it's something I'm going to continue doing, or if it's just something that's going to pass away. Time will tell. I was walked into an art gallery several months ago now, and there were a stack of abstract paintings. This is the way this gallery works. They sort of stack an artist's painting, and it works just fine. Don't anybody fuss or fume about that. It's just fine. And if you don't want the gallery doing that, you don't have to be in that gallery. But very fine gallery. Anyway, the paintings were stacked up, and the same artist is all in the same stack, in other words. And the top painting was abstract, and it had pencil lines in it, very much like this, black lines. And the painting popped, really jumped. I was like, whoa, I like this painting. And then I proceeded to flip through the rest of the artist's paintings, and it turned out it was only the top painting that had this pencil work in it. And it was that was the one that I liked the best. So that really encouraged me that it wasn't, that I was looking at somebody else's work, and so I could be very objective about it. I didn't have a vested interest, I had nothing to lose. But when I looked at someone else's work, I discovered I really did like the presence of the gritty lininess that the pencil work brought. So that made me think maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I'll be doing this the rest of my life. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Becca.
Yeah.
But what are you doing when you do like a circle or something
like this?
that?
Yeah.
No, like.
Oh, circles?
Oh, like you did by the ending of the fence part.
Down here?
No, on the other side.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, the whole time that I'm making these lines, I'm just trying to make interesting marks. That's really the best way to put it. I'm trying to make interesting marks. Okay, I'm happy to report that after whatever it's been, 15 minutes of work, that I think this painting is considerably improved. Now, got one more layer to go, and that is to come back and re-emphasize the lights again. So I'm going to mix up here.
Like make more light in the painting?
Yes, exactly. Make more light in the painting. Exactly. And so I'm mixing up a warm white here, of course.
1 second.
And I think this time the where I'm going to start is right with the lightest, brightest, whitest bits in the painting. That's where I'm going to start this last phase. So I really want this light to pop now. And let's see. We'll find out together whether this is a good adventure or not. And is one of the things that, one of the advantages is, as you can see, the improvement that I've done, if it is improvement, has taken very little time. You know, as painting goes, this was a very quick fix. I basically did two things. I did glazes over the whole thing and then took a rag, sure enough, and lifted out some of the light areas. And then I did pencils. That's all I've done so far. Now, third thing I'm doing is coming back and re-energizing the light bits. One of the things I'm going to do is this window over here. I'm really looking forward to doing that. That's reflection of the sky and the water in that window, and it needs to be a lot brighter than it is, I think. By the way, I learned a really good trick my last trip to Ocracoke. Me and my buddy Mike Rooney, who is my best painting buddy. We painted together like for a week, every year for the last 4 years, I think. And he was with me on Ocracoke. And I don't know if he told this to me or if we discovered it together. I can't remember. It seems like he already knew this. But he said, you know, anytime you could put any painting of any building, in fact, any painting of landscape, of anything, and if you, even just in a corner of the painting, if you include a body of water, like an ocean, like a horizon of water, people like the painting better. Isn't that funny? So if this house had woods behind it, it might be a nice painting, but it wouldn't have nearly the draw that it does, simply because, now in this case it's realistic, the ocean really was there. But since that discovery, I've used that a couple times and put oceans where they weren't. Because it made the painting better. Now some of you purists, you're just having a fit over hearing that, but that's all right. You don't have to buy one of my paintings. Somebody else will. Okay, that's good enough for now. Now I'm going to go and do some sky, lightening of the sky and the horizon way back in here. So I've just put a little tiny bit of phthalo blue into the white. So once again, painting in my world, you never plaster opaque paint on top. I always allow the underpainting to peek around and peek through whatever it is you're putting on at the moment. Now I do use this opaque paint to diminish some of the lininess that came about from the pencils. Does that make sense? wherever I feel like the lininess, I got carried away, so to speak, with the line work of the pencil, then I just uncarry myself away by smudging out, smudging over some of those lines. I do that quite a bit. It's a matter of course. It's just a regular practice. I would like to finish at least 5 more paintings this week. That's part of the reason why I was in my attic looking for paintings that I could rescue instead of starting over from scratch. And the reason is I've got a show opening at Ashley's Fine Arts in Fuquay Varina. Yes, believe it or not, a very fine gallery in Fuquay Varina. And I've got an opening on Saturday, this Saturday, and I would like to have a total of 10 paintings for them. And at the moment I have 4. So at least 5 more, preferably 6. Okay, I don't want to carry this pale phthalo blue thing, this sky, up very high, because the darkness of the sky is actually part of what is making the painting work better than it was a little while ago. So I don't want to carry that up too high. But I do think I need to do it up to the roof of this porch. Now, of course, there's a real disadvantage of what I'm doing right now is painting out of my head, right? Sometimes you'll hear an amateur say, and I painted this all out of my head, and they're kind of bragging. And if I'm being really mean and snobby, I say we have a name for those kind of artists. They're called starving artists. It's a usually, and I used to paint tons out of my head. And I've now come to discover it's actually a lack of discipline. It's not an overdose of imagination. I can paint out of my head really well, but I recognize that it's not a great idea to paint out of your head. I'm gonna let that conversation end right there. That's enough. Okay, now to the windows I mentioned earlier. To the windows that are reflecting earth and sky, or sea and sky over here. I want these to be considerably lighter than they are. So I think that will be a significant interest element, visual element in the painting. The theme of my show on Saturday is going to be basically traveling Carolina. I want to have some mountain scenes, some coastal scenes like this, and some Piedmont. North Carolina is divided into 3 sections. The mountains, the Piedmont in the middle, which is the fertile plains in the middle of North Carolina, and the coast. And I want my show to reflect that on Saturday. Almost. Now I may be boring you, so I'll probably sign off soon and finish this on my own time. Let me tell you a couple of things I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to hit some really intense red, fire engine red, or Scarlet Lake red here, and on this bicycle. Not the whole thing, just a little bit here and there. And some of this cedar shingle part of the house needs to be brightened up as well. But I think that's enough for you to watch. I think that this might be a successful rescue operation. Jury's still out, but I think that it might turn out well. Hope that's instructive. Hope that's helpful for you. And feel free to steal any of these ideas that you want. Okay? Thanks for watching. I'll be back again in a little bit.